Voice. I'm your host, Finn Spence, and I'm joined by...
Tyler Cook.
And what we're going to be discussing today, Tyler?
So today we're going to be discussing non-league football, hence the title. Two particular teams.
Or should we say free?
Oh well, yeah, free actually, because
Potentially.
free because you've got some more inside knowledge on another team. But we're going to talk about Bradford Park Avenue.
Yeah, and I believe Campion AFC.
Yes, we are.
And maybe a bit of Guiseley in there.
Bit of Guiseley in there as well.
Rather interesting time at the minute for them.
Yeah, the relegation, aren't they?
Just on the brink of it, yeah.
Ooh.
Sacked the manager recently. Anyway.
We'll get onto them later.
Exactly.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with Bradford or do you want to start with Campion?
We'll go in order. 9th tier, Campion. Let's go with them first.
Right, we'll go with Campion, who are sat in the 9th tier of the English football. I don't think many teams know about Campion. I didn't certainly know about them until I started speaking to the CEO, Cal, who has also just joined Campion recently. He actually used to work at Bradford Park Avenue, which obviously now he's trying to take his knowledge that he's learned from Bradford to Campion.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been stuck there for quite a while, but I mean, they're looking like they're bringing the right people in. Obviously, they're not in the place they want to be at this minute. They're 14th. However, they do have multiple games in hand on some teams, so I mean, they could be in and around that playoff spot. It's just hard to tell at the minute. Some teams have played 18, Campion have played 14.
Yeah, I think they are going to obviously want to push for promotion. I think obviously both teams are based in Bradford, obviously Park Avenue and Campion. So I think obviously Campion will want to try and get to obviously Park Avenue, at least try and be on a level with them, and obviously if not push further than them. But obviously, like you said, they have games in hand against other teams around them. So obviously if they win the games that they have, I think they've got Sheffield next.
Yeah.
Obviously they drew 3-3 in the last game. So if they keep obviously these results coming in, if they can get big points, then I can see them obviously rising up the table, and I can't see why, like you said, they can't push for playoffs or even automatic.
Yeah. I mean, Sheffield are 4th in the league, so if they manage to get 3 points over them, it's a big win.
Yeah.
The oldest team in football, yeah, that's Sheffield FC.
Yeah, well, like they said, if they get the 3 points against Sheffield AFC, then it's obviously massive for them. And I mean, I can't see why they can't push for it if the team's behind them, if the fans are behind them. Then I can't see why they can't get the 3 points, or at least try and get a point. Obviously, out of someone who's obviously 4th in the league. But yeah, if they get the points around the teams that are around them as well, which I think they'll come up against some of them later on in the season, then I can't see obviously why they can't push for automatics or playoffs.
Even still, I mean, these leagues are really tricky, so it's not just going to be a 1 year plan, is it? It's going to be a 5 year plan, a 3 year plan, whatever. I mean, it's extremely difficult to get out of these leagues.
No, well, when I was speaking to Cal, he said that they've brought in new, obviously funding now, to obviously try and help them obviously rise up the table with new sponsorships. Obviously these non-league teams, obviously they try and get as much sponsorship as they can. Obviously we'll go on to Park Avenue in a minute. I'm sure they've got plenty of sponsorships as well. But obviously they try and get obviously all these sponsorships in to obviously help them try and push up the table. And I think Cal also mentioned as well in the interview that they also try and push stuff for like the junior stuff, to obviously help the team build for the future. Because let's say that obviously they do get promoted, then they'll obviously want younger, fresh players that can obviously help them maybe push forward in the future.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, let's get on to your interview with Cal.
We can hear the interview now. We'll click. There we are with Cal, the CEO of Campion AFC. Cal, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just obviously here to talk about the club and yourself. So we'll start off by just tell me a little about yourself and what is your role here at the club.
Yeah, well, like I said, CEO of the club, came in sort of April of this year. Obviously didn't manage to make much of an effect until sort of June once we got back into pre-season. Main role really is to bring us money in through sponsorship and things like that at the football club, but also have an input on sort of how we progress as a football club. The football club's really keen on moving up through the divisions as soon as possible, but in the sort of the right way, in a sustainable way. So it's just making sure we have the structure in place as well. That's already started to take effect with, we've got a new under-8 side that we didn't have this year up until, I think, August or September they came on board. And that will hopefully develop into a full junior programme with time. One or two other bits as well that we're looking at that I can't tell you about at the moment. But yeah, and then we've sort of had a look at partnerships around the city. So we partnered with a local junior football club, Bolton Woods, which is a massive junior football club.
Yeah.
You know, sort of one of the biggest, certainly this side of the city. So a partnership with them, they're going to come in on certain days, do sort of ball boys and like walk the players out and what have you.
Yeah.
Obviously, made sure they were furnished with season tickets and things like that, so the parents can come along as well. And yeah, we're just looking to try and develop the name as much as we can, whilst also trying to bring in some revenue.
Yeah. So obviously, you said you've not been here obviously too long, it seems. So, what is the plans for the future? What are you hoping to bring now that you're here?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, first and foremost, I think bringing a structure to the football club. The football club has been not fortunate as such, but has been sort of quite lucky in terms of how it's moved up through the pyramid very quickly. Some recent success winning the league and the county amateur cup, or the West Riding County FA Cup is a more thing which we actually playing tonight. Yeah, so but then going forward, like I say, there's plans in place for certain things that I can't touch on at the moment, but realistically to be a bit more ready for the next step. So we're at step 5 at the moment. Moving up to step 4 includes things like we spent some money this summer on widening the pitch, so it was at the right width and the right length for the league that we're in, and then also the leagues that we're looking to move into. More retail options, more sort of fan engagement options, looking a bit further into the community, bring people on board that will help the club in various aspects around the city, not just around sort of the local area, but you know, around the whole city of Bradford, and ultimately that first team up through the divisions.
Yeah.
That's the main aim.
So not that many people will probably even know about this football club. I didn't really know much about it until obviously we'd started talking. So can you please just obviously tell us about the history of the club, if obviously stuff that you know? Yeah,
I mean, relatively new club in terms of some of the clubs that you might speak to around the city. Founded in 1963. It was actually born out of a youth club at Edmund St Campion Youth Club. So played obviously Sunday League for a while, moved into Saturdays, bounced around one or two different sort of leagues as we moved up. You tend to find local leagues, you can almost be at the same level as far as like the FA is concerned, but the quality of those leagues will be very different. So we've sort of moved, looks like we've moved sort of horizontally, but actually we've moved into a much tougher sort of league and divisions throughout those leagues. And then, like I say, more recently, obviously playing here on Scotchman Road, Manningham Mills, as some people know it. We've won a league and a cup very recently as well. So it's like I said, there are other clubs in the city that have been around sort of 30, 40, 50, 60 years longer than we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a club that's moving in the right direction.
Well, thank you, Carl. It's been a pleasure, and I hope obviously you guys win tonight.
Yeah, so do I.
Right, and now on to Park Avenue.
Yeah, on to Park Ave.
It's a very interesting at the minute. They're sat third in the table. I mean, they suffered back-to-back relegations. It was their first season in the 8th tier last year. They finished 11th. Sort of solidifying their place. And now this season, sort of that big push. They had a massive summer, bringing in the likes of Marcus Carver, Luke Hendry, Prince Ekapolo, players from teams. I mean, Luke Hendry was in League 2 last season. Morecambe wanted to keep him in for the National League, but as you'll see later down the line, he was looking to come out of full-time football.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was sort of a perfect opportunity.
No, well, I can't see. Obviously, me and you went down and we met some of the players, and obviously they are decent football. And obviously, like you said, that they used to play in League. Was it League 2 or something last season?
Yeah, Luke Hendry was in League 2.
So obviously, I can't see why he can't probably not still playing at that level. So it's great for them to get players such as him, and probably hence why they are doing so well, sat in third.
Yeah, and it's not like he's a player past his peak or anything. He's still of a young age. And they've also got likes of Matt Beavers, former Millwall player, centre half. I mean, some of their players, it's ridiculous in the 8th tier. But yeah, it is looking promising at the minute. They're sat third in the table. There have been probably more draws than they'd want to be, but I mean, it's a lot better than the past 5 years for Avenue.
Yeah, like you touched up on then, they had back-to-back relegations, which obviously they don't want. Obviously, it's not what the football club. It's not where they want to be. They don't want to be getting back-to-back relegations. But like you said, they brought in players. Obviously, I'm assuming they'd obviously want the wins, the 3 points over the 1 point, but I guess a point will do than none.
Exactly, and they've not been losing. That's the key issue. Win your home, draw your away, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and obviously, like you said, they're sat third in the table, are they?
Yeah.
Have they got games on other teams, or...?
Not really. Teams have games, and then they've got games on some other teams. This is the thing with the lower tiers. Everyone's played a different amount of games.
Yeah, well, then it just shows how tight non-league football can be.
Yeah.
And probably why some people might prefer it over, the likes of the Premier League or the EFL. But I'm sure if they have games on other teams, I'm sure they can obviously come back. Obviously, like you said, they just not need to win the home, draw their away, and I think they'll be fine.
And they've got good experience. I mean, they've got a manager who's got 6 non-league promotions, so I mean, it is look promising. There's been a real investment over the summer, and the club's attracting more fans. They're doing a bigger reach outside to the communities and making sure that people are wanting to come to the games, and it's one of their key projects at the minute for Park Avenue.
Again, so yeah, obviously we've been down. You spoke to Tom Lutztravic, who is the sporting and executive director of the club. And what did he have to say, Spenny?
Well, I mean, he was just sort of going over their hopes for the season, his outreach to the community, how nice it's been to see positive support from inside and outside the club, and that their main focus is on the community and on the league. I mean, they've got to the second round now of the FA Trophy, but like he said, the league is the most important thing for them, and that's not going to change because they don't belong there, do they? Realistically, a few seasons ago they were in National League North, so they are wanting to get back to where they will be, and it's good signs. He's only been there for a year, and you can see the club is changing, and it's going quite quickly. It does take a long time, but the process is really speeding up at the minute at Park Avenue.
No, well, like I said, obviously you managed to speak to him, get an interview. Do you want to play that interview now, so let the people hear?
Yeah, I will do, actually.
Park Avenue today. Yeah, great. Thanks for coming in. I'm Tom Lutztravic, Sporting and Executive Director at the football club. My role is to basically oversee all business and football operations at Bradford Park Avenue to make sure that we get the club back to where we believe it should be. And that's it, really. I've been in this role now just over a year. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes to get things into a comfortable and strong position so that we can really push things on the pitch for the first team this season, which hopefully we're starting to see the fruits of that.
Yeah, well, obviously it's not been a good few years for Park Avenue, suffering with back-to-back relegations. The club are now sat third in the league. How are the spirits around the club at the minute?
Yeah, good. People are positive. As always, we want to keep pushing things forward and keep improving on the pitch, off the pitch. It has been a difficult few years. I think there's been a lot of things that we needed to change in the background, really, to get the club together, if you like, get people on the same page, and everybody working together for the benefit of the club. And it's time now to look forward. We've done a lot of work in the background to try and improve things. I think we're in a place now where we've got people who care, who work really, really hard behind the scenes to make sure that everything's right. And obviously now we've got a first team that we can be proud of. We've got a manager who's got 6 promotions in non-league, and we've got a very strong competitive squad. And recently reaching the second round of the FA Trophy. It's probably the furthest the club have been in a very, very long time in that competition. So that's a real positive and something to be proud of. But our bread and butter this year is the league, and we're sitting in a pretty strong position in that, and really looking forward to the rest of the season.
Obviously, it's been a big summer this year, bringing in the likes of Luke Hendry, for example. I mean, he was playing League Two last season. Just how have you managed to bring these players in? I mean, is it a good sign of the club looking to move forward?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of different things coming together to be able to make signings like that. First of all, we've got the right people now to lead the first team squad and set up. We've managed to attract really good players from the league above, and then obviously most recently we've been able to attract Luke Hendry. I think his circumstances had changed. He wanted to get out of full-time football into part-time football. Heard a lot of good things about the club through some of the lads that we've got here. And then I think it's obviously, people can see that we're trying to do things the right way here. I had over the weekend, messages from players at other clubs to say that, they're hearing really positive things about the club, and things are looking really good. And which it is, so I always believe that good people working hard will attract good people and good things, and I think that's what we're starting to see now, but we need to be patient with it. It's not going to, there's going to be lots of ups and downs this season, like everything we'll find out people's true colours whenever maybe we do have a little bit of a dip. I read an article this morning from Martin O'Neill talking about Brian Clough and his message to players whenever they had, maybe 2 or 3 bad results in a row. That's the time to pull together and stick together. So that'll be interesting to see, to test the character of people around the club whenever that does happen. Because naturally you can't go through a full season without having your downs as well as your ups. But hopefully this season, which what we've seen so far, is there's a lot more ups than there is downs.
Yeah, well, third in the place, like you said, 15 games in. Obviously, there's a lot more games to be played, a lot more points to be won, and there will be ups and downs, but it is looking really promising at the minute, and it's nice to finally see Bradford Park Avenue pushing to go up.
Yeah, and we made it very, very clear at the start of the season. It is about promotion this season, moving forward, and I think the other thing as well is, from our point of view, we want to give our own fans, people who have been through and with us through thick and thin, something to be proud of and something to look forward to. So, as well as it's great that people outside the club are talking positively about us, but it's just great to see a smile on our people, our own people's faces, and of course we welcome other people to come and support the club, and doing a big push at the moment in the community, within the community projects that we have, to try and increase the fan base of the club, because that's one of the areas that is a big piece of work for us, really.
No, thank you very much for your time today. It's really appreciated. Is there anything further you'd like to add?
No, just great. Just keep sharing the message about the club. The more positive press we have, the better, really.
An idea.
So hopefully,
they have a mission.
If we chat again
they
in
know
the
what they
future,
want to
it's
do in
about
the
a
future.
promotion.
They know that they
Yeah,
want
fingers
to
crossed, and
get
thank you very
higher
much
up.
for
It
coming.
obviously seems that they are getting the investment, the experience as well, like you said, signing players from obviously used to play in League 2 last season. So yeah, I can't see why Bradford Park Avenue can't push on further into the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, the club has really been in turmoil, really. It's not been great, but they've brought the right people in. They've brought good experience, and it's looking great. I mean, they poached 2 of Guiseley's players last season, and look at them now.
Yeah.
They're down at the depths. They've just sold their 20-year-old midfielder, Jay Butchinen. They signed him in the summer, but this was the issue. In summer, their recruitment, they got rid of a lot of key players and replaced them with youth players, and sometimes you need that experience, especially in the lower leagues.
Yeah,
Matt Bower, their manager's been sacked now, with Liam Rydell, the former Bradford City and Tranmere man, coming into play.
Well, I mean, hopefully that can help Guiseley again. But like you said, and it's obviously clearly shown with Park Avenue that you need that experience in lower league. You can't rely on these youth players, because some may say that the lower league, non-league football is probably more intense, more aggressive than the likes of the Premier League and the EFL, just because it's non-league football.
Well, yeah, and you sign these youth kids to come play, but you do need leaders in that team, because youth football is a completely different game to the men's football, especially in these. Like they've signed some Leeds reserves, Sheffield Wednesday reserves. They'll be playing the way that Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds United want them to play, not the way you're going to be playing in the 7th tier of football.
Yeah,
it's completely different.
These youth players that are brought in, obviously, like you said, from Leeds and from Sheffield. Obviously, they play how Leeds and Sheffield will want to play. They're not going to play this rough and tough football that you see in non-league football. It's not going to work. And obviously, as you say, Guiseley are now... Where are they actually in the league, Guiseley? Are they... Well, near relegation, are they? Or are they in relegation?
Yeah, well, they are 18th in the league now.
18th in the league.
However, 19th, 20th and 21st, the 3 relegation spots, all have games in hand on them. In fact, Warrington Town, who are 2 points off them, have 3 games in hand on Guiseley.
See, so just... From that alone, it's not looking great for Guiseley, because if they pick up points, they're going to jump way ahead of them, and I'm sure the other teams will as well. So Guiseley need to turn things around. Like you said, they've sacked the manager, but that's not always going to work. Like you said, you're going to need that experience on the pitch, and at the moment they just don't have that.
Yeah, and as well, with bringing Liam Rydell into management, he's no longer playing. He was the left back there. I mean, he's got heaps of EFL experience to Rydell, so you're also losing that. There's just no real leaders in that team at the minute, and I think that's the main issue for Guiseley. I mean, I've got no doubt that there's quality in those players there, but there is serious leadership issues.
Yeah, like you said, I'm sure there's quality in them players. They're obviously not stupid. They've obviously gone and looked at youth players at obviously Leeds and at Sheffield. These kids will have quality, and no doubt about that. But like, you have a look at Bradford Park Avenue, you have a look at Campion. They've got players that have experience, have people that have been in non-leagues. Hence why that these 2 clubs are obviously wanting to push further on. Park Avenue sat 3rd, like we said. Campion in 14th, looking like they could push a bit further on with games in hand on other teams. It's just not looking good, and Guiseley just need to have a rethink about it, but they need to act on it quickly, because sooner or later they could be in a relegation.
Yeah, it's not looking good, and I mean, they ended up in the playoffs last season. I mean, they got to the playoff final, but you can ask some questions about that. And obviously, fans were optimistic about this season. They were looking forward to it, thinking, they might be going back to the National League North. They've been down in the 7th tier for numerous seasons now. I mean, not long ago, they were, well, I'll say not long ago, it's a fair few years ago now, but they were in the National League for a few seasons. But I don't know, I think they need to take some advice off Bradford Park Avenue, actually, because, I mean, I still can't say how impressed I am over their summer recruitment. It's just, I mean, they took numerous players off Guiseley as well. That was the issue. Prince Ekapolo, Joe Ackroyd. So yeah, I hope things can change, because I do have a bit of a soft spot for Guiseley, and although it might not be the season they want, if they just get that mid-table finish, then it's better than what it will be now.
Yeah, they don't need to push. They just need to hope they survive, get mid-table, and then rethink, rebuild. Because, like you said, they don't really deserve to be in this position. Let's be real. They probably deserve to be higher up, 100%. So they need to just rethink, rebuild, get the right people in. Because, like you said, in non-league, you need experience.
Yeah.
Without experience, it's just not going to work for you.
No, they just need someone to come in and solidify that shit. Because I mean, whether they make Rydal permanent, I doubt it. I mean, I believe he lost his first game in charge 2-0. So I mean, maybe the management wasn't the issue, because Matt Bowers been around. He's been around the block. I mean, he's a good manager. So I mean, maybe it was just his time's come to an end, or maybe it's something a bit deeper there.
Yeah, it could be somewhat within the club. Obviously, we've spoke to people at Park Avenue and at Campion, and obviously Cal and Tom, and from what obviously we spoke to and what we heard, it obviously clearly seems that they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
It clearly seems that the people at Guiseley don't really know what they're doing.
yeah, and like obviously, you know, we've been up to go help out for games and stuff, and the atmosphere at Park Avenue, it's really changed. It looks upbeat. You know, fans are enjoying themselves. They're doing more facilities. Like even on a night, you know, once the game's finished, they have free food come out and what have you. So yeah, I mean, just stuff like that, improving the overall facilities, making it a welcome place for all fans.
Well, like Tom touched upon, and like obviously you've said, then non-league is about the community.
Oh, 100%.
It's about the fans. If you don't get the fans involved, fans coming to the game, it's just not going to work out for you.
No, you're not going to have a club at the end of the day, because
No.
in the non-league, it's the fans who pretty much run the club.
Exactly. And I don't know much about guys, obviously you'd have to tell me, but I don't know whether they've got people going to the game, if they're doing out for the community, you know, like we've seen with Park Avenue and with Campion. They're doing stuff with, you know, with younger kids. I think Campion were doing stuff with Belden. I'm sure Park Avenue, we've seen them do loads of stuff now with boys. They seem to bringing in a new girl division. If guys like that doing this sort of stuff, helping the community out, doing this stuff, it's just not going to work out for them.
Yeah, and I do feel for Guiseley's fan base, because they've got a real set of die-hard fans that honestly they'll go every single away game with them. So yeah, I do feel for them. They are a real set of loyal fans down at Guiseley, and hopefully things can take a turn for the better.
But again, if the club don't do something for the fans, then what have the fans got to do?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a lot harder with funding and stuff in non-league. So.
And I do get that. But anything else we need to touch up on, Spenny? Anything?
I think that's everything for today.
Everything today. We've, I think we'll have to see now what happens with Campion, see if they can push up the table, see if Park Avenue can keep the form that they're on, and let's hope that Guiseley, turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, who are you most excited to keep your eye out this season?
I'm obviously me and you have done stuff at Park Avenue, so it's always nice to see them push up, and I'd like to see them get promoted this season. I think they do deserve it. I think they have done well to bring in the people, like you've said. But I'm going to keep my eye on Campion, just because I've just found out about finding out more and more each day. And I'd like to see if they can push up the table, and I'd like to see that obviously the people that they've brought in, such as Cal himself, if they can really push up the table and really fight for promotion. And I'm sure you'll be keeping an eye on Guiseley.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, it's got to be Park Avenue, obviously. Look who they've got. They've got Luke Hendry, Mark Beavers, Marcus Carver, Prince Capolo. It's got to be them. That team in the 8th tier is a joke, and I don't know. I just really like everything that's going on around there at the minute. So for me, obviously, it's going to be Park Avenue that I'm going to keep my eye on.
A quick question: let's say Park Avenue get promoted. Do you think they could do back to back with the team that they've got?
No.
Why is that?
Because these are the hardest leagues to get out of. So I don't think they'll go straight down. They might do well. They might push up the table, but I don't think they'll go straight back up. It's very, very tough to do.
Well, this is non-league, Spenny.
Exactly, and that's why we love it. Anyway, thank you for joining us. I've been Finn Spence.
I've been Tyler Cook. And we'll see you next time.